Everybody. Thank you for joining me today at Private Patient Advocates. Today's video, we're going to talk about tiny but mighty, and it's about viruses. So I was so frustrated. And by the way, my name is Ev Zervadakis, founder and president of Private Patient Advocates, and I'm here to help you, educate you, and help you understand your body and how the healthcare system works. Well, uh, I'm so frustrated with all the news and the media and descriptions of viruses, and it made me go back and research what is a virus again. I was just shocked as how they describe the virus. So I just wanted to do a somewhat simplified version of what a virus is and how the virus works. It's not alive. So number one, we have to understand it's not alive. So the best description, in my opinion, is a definition is an infectious agent of a small size and simple composition that can multiply only in living cells of animals, which humans are animals, plants, and bacteria. So, all right, let's break that all down. So, what is small? Uh, Bacteria is small. My little kids were small. How small is small? Well, is it small like a bacteria? Yes, but it's smaller. How much smaller? To be exact, a virus can range from 20 nanometers to 400 nanometers. So what's a nanometer? Well, it's 1 billionth of a meter. 1 billionth. That's 9 zeros of a meter, which is about 3 feet. So, can you see it under a microscope? No, you have to use a specialized electron microscope. And it's like a big room where you go in and they use energy and rays and stuff like that in order to see that far, that small. So my experience was with regular microscopes, not electron microscopes. So getting back to the video on the viruses, so it's not an organism because it cannot reproduce or carry on metabolic processes. So it is sort of like a parasite because it's it needs a host, it needs another living thing to live. So it's not alive, it's inactive. So once, so how does it become alive? How does that work? And to put it very simply, it is a protein and a nucleic acid, which is DNA. So you don't have to know exactly what it is, but it's chemical, biochemical combinations that occur in the body that make up our body. We have trillions and trillions of cells, and what it does is it's it's together. It has genetic messages in there, and then it's covered by a protein, like a protective sheath or uh, envelope, and some of them even have lipids. So the coronavirus does have lipids. Lipids is another word for fat. So that's the protective mechanism. And that's why everybody says make sure you wash your hands with soap and water because it breaks down the fat, the lipid. All right. So now something that small is hurting the whole world. It's unbelievable, but it happens. These pandemics spread, and this particular one is inactive, but it's able to go into our bodies and stay active for a long time, and then it stays into our bodies for a long time, and it's percolating. It's just sitting there waiting for the right moment. So, herpes is a virus, HIV, all these uh, polio disease, that was from a virus. So they all work in a very interesting way. As small as they are, they get into our body. So, like I said about immunity, how they get into the body is they could get in through the skin if there's a cut in the skin, or they could get into our mucous membrane, which any place that you have a mucous membrane, the orifices of our body, they could get in that way. And then from there, they could sneak into the cells and then they hijack the cell. And they use the word hijack because it will go into our cell's DNA in the nucleus and tell it what to do. And it will tell it to make more viruses. And then you get more and more and more viruses. And then your immune system, as I spoke of prior in the other video, is not able to combat the virus. So a virus is, when they use the word back in the 1800s, when they were describing virus, they called it like a poison. That's what it means in Latin. And it is very toxic. But our body is capable of taking care of the toxins that come into our body as long as it is coming in a slow enough manner where our body could recognize it, number one, and number two, attack it. So this coronavirus also is not, it's a new virus, so the body has not seen it before and it may have trouble recognizing it. So if you're in good health, you probably will, maybe you probably will live through this if you do get infected. And the interesting thing to watch out for later on, because right now we don't have enough answers for the virus and to say anything definitive. But later on, they're going to look at the people that got sick, the people that didn't make it that got sick, the people that have the antibodies, because they're starting to test now the blood, the serum, which has antibodies. The antibody is that mechanism, the lock and the key. It's the lock mechanism in our body where it produces the fighter cells to get rid of the infectious agents. So they're going to look at how many people have antibodies and how many antibodies. That's called a titer. So when you hear all this stuff on the news, hopefully these words will be more familiar to you. So the antibodies will be looked at and measured, and then they could say, okay, well, this group of people, and they're already starting to say stuff about different segments of the population are getting sicker than other components of the population. I think it's too soon to tell because you have to look at lifestyle. You have to look at blood type. You have to look at male or female. It seems like more males are getting this COVID disease than females. You have to look at your lifestyle, the hygiene practices, your immune system. And then I also believe that you have to look at the person's makeup, spiritual and body, mind, spirit makeup. In other words, are you one of these people, well, I don't believe that's going to happen to me, and it probably won't happen because they have a strong conviction that their body can take care of all these invaders and they'll be fine. So keep an open mind when you listen to the news, because remember, stress is the worst thing that could that you could allow in your body, because that weakens our immune system and makes us more susceptible to viruses, bacteria, parasites, pollen, and any foreign body. So I hope this video was informative. Please give me a thumbs up, share it with people, give me some criticism too. I've had family members tell me a couple of things, how I look and this and that. But it's not about me looking good. It's about me getting the information out to you, because, I'm not a journalist. I'm not an actress. I just want to get this important information out. And that's why I started my company, Private Patient Advocates, because you guys need an advocate. And if you'd like to hear about any other topic, I'd love to address it, especially now. because we are on frozen mode. So it would give me something to do that I feel is productive. So thank you very much. Be safe out there. We're getting to the crest and leveling out in certain areas of the country. I'm praying for everybody in New York City and the Jersey area. Very near and dear to my heart. And I love you all. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again.